again, friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Walt Moore, also by the name Dan Wilson, and we are getting sleeted and snowed in once again here in southeast Missouri. And so for today, it's pretty cold outside. I was considering shooting a little video over in the garage today, and I don't really have a good heating system over there at the moment, and it's just freezing cold. So I'm back over in what I sometimes refer to as the hut. Kind of a small building I built myself several years ago, but it's very well insulated and fixed up real nice on the inside. So got a little heater, space heater running here and staying nice, cozy, warm. Hope you guys are having a great day. And in a few minutes, I want to show you a few of the tools that I've used during my electrical career. I was a professional licensed electrician for well over 20 years. And I've since more or less retired from the business. I kind of burned out after that many years of it. I'd like to show you guys some of the basic hand tools that we use in the electrical trade in case you might be starting out or totally unfamiliar with the trade in general, or you're just not sure what type of tools you need to start out with. So here in just a minute, I brought the old electrical tool pouch over. We'll get some tools out and I'll just go over some basic tools to you guys. I started to mention a minute ago that also, besides it being freezing cold over in the garage, that sleet coming down, it is so noisy over there. Sounds like about 100,000 chickens pecking on the roof at the same time. Anyway, guys, I want to show you, first of all, here is my old trusty electrician tool pouch that I have had and used for probably at least 20 plus years. Been with me a long time, made out of leather, very high quality, and it's held up very, very good over the years. As I mentioned before, I just thought, just for the heck of it, not much else going on today, thought we'd go over a few of the basic tools we use in the electrical business, in case you might just be starting out and you might be a little unclear of the basic tools to start out with, what you might need to purchase to get started. One of the most important tools of all is right here, and these are just a standard pair of wire strippers. We use these for, of course, stripping the insulation off the wires. That's about most of what those are for. Also, it's got a neat cutter on there, if you can see that. Also, we can cut wires with that as well. And also, a must-have tool right here. These are called Lineman pliers. Almost all of us, and they're a little dirty. Sorry about that. I haven't cleaned my tools in a while. That's what they look like. We use these mostly for cutting wire, for twisting wires, making connections, and sometimes pulling fish tape. If you don't know what that is, I'll get mine out one of these days and show you what I'm talking about. A fish tape is a device we run through Conduit in order to attach wires to it to pull back through the pipe. And a lot of times we use our Lineman pliers like this for getting a hold of the fish tape, sometimes as an aid in pulling the wires through the conduit. Also, another very important tool to have is a good pair of needle nose pliers. Now actually I've got about 4 or 5 pairs of these in different toolboxes. That's what those look like. These have a little sharp pointy end on them, and these are excellent for getting into tight places that you may not be able to get your Lineman pliers or any other tool into. Great to have, actually absolutely essential. Also, talk about needing a variety of screwdrivers. Oh my gosh. This is probably my all-time favorite. This is a ratcheting type screwdriver, and it has a number of bits that came with it, bit storage deal right there, and you just put this on there and it just ratchets. If you can hear the ratcheting sound or not, like that. Use this for tightening up screws on switches, receptacles, breaker panel boxes, or just about anything. Flip a switch there, it reverses in reverse mode just like that. Bit change, super simple. I can pull this out. This is a number 2 Phillips bit. If I need to switch over to, say, a straight bit, as soon as I find one here we go. It'll come out. Well, that one's stuck. Okay, it'll come out eventually. Never fails. Turn the camera on and nothing works like it's supposed to. Let's not waste all day on that. Here's another one, see if we can get that one out. Yeah, there we go. There's a straight bit right there. Snaps right in the end of the screwdriver. So there again for straight slotted head screws. Ready to go on that. Sometimes we'll need to use a square bit. for certain things. All the newer devices now have square heads, and that one's stuck too. I think my tools are frozen. I don't know. Right there is that's a number 2 square bit, I think. That also fits right in the end of the screwdriver. So just like that, we just snap it in. It's like that. Super easy bit change. Takes literally seconds. Also, we dig deeper. Whoops, there went my strippers. Things are going everywhere. This is a very, very good conduit screwdriver. This is mostly used for conduit. When I'm doing commercial wiring, we use conduit, metal boxes and stuff. And the end of this is a very handy screwdriver end that slips over the screw heads on conduit connectors and various things. And what this does, it helps prevent the screwdriver from slipping off of the head when you're trying to tighten something. So it goes right over it. Again, this is just like that right there. If you're wondering what these funny looking things are farther up the screwdriver, these are conduit reaming tools. And this is set up for 1/2 inch conduit, 3/4, all the way up to 1 inch. Now what these are for, because most of the time we got to cut the conduit to length, and most of the time we use a hacksaw. You can use a sawzall or a variety of ways to cut the conduit. We cannot have any sharp edges left on the conduit, so we take this reamer. Now you can do this with a utility knife, a screwdriver, but it's nowhere near as effective or useful as using a tool like this. Okay, if you can see it, put up there a little close shot on that. That is a conduit reaming tool. That's so once we cut the conduit, we take this tool right here, be it 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch, whatever it might be, and we turn it inside the conduit. I don't have a piece of conduit to show you right now. I wish I did, and this is to give us a good, clean, smooth edge on the conduit so it doesn't damage the wires. Also, very essential, these are called side diagonal cutters. I'll get my act together in a minute. These, you gotta have a pair of these in your tool pouch. I've used these so many times for cutting wire ties, and just all kinds of stuff. These have been with me as well as all my tools. If you notice closely, I'll pull my Lineman's back out of here. As the old saying goes in electrical work, as far as hitting a few hot wires once in a while, it's not if, it's when. So if you look real close, my old Lineman pliers have got a few holes in them right there. They're just about worn out, but I've had these for so many years I can't throw them away. There's some burn marks in the Lineman pliers. Also, my diagonal cutter has hit a few hot ones over the years. Got a couple of holes in those. Right here is a smaller version of a diagonal type cutter, diagonal side cutter. And why I have 2 of these in there, because I get into certain areas where this pair won't fit into, but this pair will. So it's good to have a pair of these in the tool pouch. Another essential thing. This is called a tape measure, because we do a lot of measuring. And as I've jokingly told a few of the guys I've worked with in the past, what's very helpful with your tape measure, and I am literally joking right now. This is an old joke I made up. What will help you out tremendously when using your tape measure is use the side that has the numbers and markings on it versus the other side that doesn't. Okay, just a little joke. Got to have a good tape measure. This one has to be a 30-footer. It's been a good one. This is a non-conductive, how do I describe this? This is an inductive tester that, without making physical contact with the wire, you roll this little switch right up here. If you heard that little beep, it beeps when you first turn it on. I think my batteries are getting down in it. You turn this thing on and you put it up next to a wire or a light fixture or a switch or whatever. When this thing lights up and beeps, it lets you know that the wire is hot. Okay, that's what I use that for. What else? We've gone over this. Oh, I am so glad they finally started making a pair of these. These are Romex snipping pliers. Okay, now I got to put the tool pouch down for just a minute. What I do, I have a piece of scrap wire right here. It is. Now, in the old days, let me show you real quick. Also a must have a utility knife. You've got to have, actually I have two of these. This one is for when I occasionally got to cut some drywall out or whatever. See how the blade's kind of got some drywall dust on it? That's my drywall cutting blade. Once in a while I got to cut some drywall out. I have another pair right here that I keep a good clean. Well, I take that back. I haven't changed the blade in that one for a while. That one got in the drywall too, I think. This used to be my good clean sharp blade that I used for stripping wires out. I'm going to show you guys real quick here. In the old days, and I'm kind of revealing some age now, I've been pulling wire and wiring since about early 1980s. I've been around for a long time. This is the old-fashioned way of stripping out your wire. Hopefully you can see this okay. Now before we had the Romex snips, those didn't come out till about early 2000s or something like that. In the old days, we'd take our utility knife, and it's hard to do this on camera, I don't want to cut my finger. When you do this, you got to be very, very careful you don't slice your finger open. We'd take it and simply score the Romex sheathing. I know this blade's dull. You don't want to cut into it very deep. I'm going to stand up a little bit and show you guys this deal here. Okay, you just score it just a little bit, like this. When you get to the very end of your wire, then you want to push down and cut into it like that. Okay? So the reason you score your wire like that, so you don't want to cut into your conductors and cause damage to the wire. Alright, so on the very end, you chomp down like I just showed you. Go ahead and strip your Romex sheathing back. And we'll pull this back, and usually we leave about 6 to 8 inches of wire in a box or what the heck ever. Now, this is the downside of the old-fashioned method. I couldn't tell you how many band-aids I've gone through over the years when doing this. So then we have this excess sheathing on there that has to come off. I'm going to take a utility knife just like this and cutting away from the wire. Well, this blade is really dull. I got to change my blade. And cut the excess sheathing off like that. This goes in the trash. So there we have our wire stripped out. Of course, we have the paper on our ground wire. It has to come off. And in case you don't know, sometimes I go too fast on some things. And again, my videos are for beginners or people who just don't know how to do this stuff. I always mention. So if you master electricians, journeymen, whatever, watching this, if you want to move on, that's okay. No, not a problem. This for you guys that just don't know this stuff. In case you don't know, the bare wire right here, that's your ground, okay? This is the ground wire. The white wire is neutral, and the black wire is your hot conductor. Alright, now that's the old-fashioned way of stripping out your Romex. Back to this tool right here. I'm going to show you guys how cool this is. If you'll notice, it has some, how do I describe this? Some shaping here. And this is designed for wire like this piece right here is what we call a 12-2 with ground non-metallic cable. Most people just call it Romex. This probably is Romex brand. So before, Romex is like saying Kleenex. It is a brand name. There's lots of different brands of wire. Romex is probably the oldest manufacturer that I know of anyway. Started making this kind of wire, but technically speaking, this is non-metallic sheathed cable. Back to this tool right here. This is set up for wire such as 14-2, which I don't have a piece of right now. This is 12-2. One of my other videos I was showing you guys about the color coding, in case you don't know this. These days, as of about the early 2000s as well, the manufacturers were required by electrical code to start color coding this type of wire. So you get a wire like this that's yellow in color. That is a number 12 gauge wire. You get one that's white, that's number 14. Orange is number 10. And up to number 8, number 6 and on up, it's still mostly in black sheathing. I'll show you guys real quick. This is so cool. You take your tool like this. Let me get up here again and show you. If you notice how I'm putting this right in this little groove area. Again, this front section here is for 14-2. This is for 12-2. It's what I have here. Slide that in position very carefully at whatever length it needs to be, and give it a quick snip just like that. Just squeeze the pliers shut. There we go. And off comes our sheathing just like that. See how simple and easy that was? Works out extremely well. And again, we're going to get rid of our paper on our ground wire. Most of you just tear that off. Usually it peels off quite easily. Want to get rid of that. And look what a nice clean end we get on the sheathing by using this tool right here. I'll talk about tool brands and tool pricing and such maybe in a later video or later in this one. I'm not sure how my time's working out here. The other neat thing this tool has is a wire stripper, also for number 14 wire, number 12, because we got stripper ends out. And what we do there is just, I leave about 3/4 of an inch of wire for the connection, about like that. Give it a squeeze, off comes our insulation, just like that. So now we have our end exposed right there, and that's ready for hookup. These also have what are called looping holes. These little holes right here. You can put this over your wire like this. So you're hooking up a switch, a receptacle, or whatever. We usually loop the wire around the terminal screws. Sometimes you got to flip it over and go a little farther. That's not a real good loop there. I didn't quite strip enough off, but that's what those are for. And let me just go ahead and strip a little more off of that. Still do that. A little more insulation off of there. And get a little more of a loop in that wire right there. Okay. Right there we have a very nice loop ready for hookup to a receptacle, a switch, or anything that's going to have a screw terminal connection on it. I'm going to turn my heater down. So that's how this tool works. If you don't have one of these yet, I strongly encourage you to make a purchase. The cost factor on a tool like this, I think I gave about 25 or 30 bucks for this particular tool. But if you're going to be an electrician and do this every day of the week as a career, this is a must-have tool. This happens to be, I'm thinking this is an Ideal brand. I will go ahead just for a minute. I'll probably edit this into a separate video. I'm not sure yet. Okay, I want to show you guys back to the Lineman pliers, another very, very essential tool. This has to be a Klein brand. Most of the hand tools that I've used over the years, I will mention a few brand names that I recommend that I've used for years and years and years. As far as most of my electrical hand tools, Klein, I think it's spelled K-L-E-I-N, I think it's right. Klein is the best. Also, I've used Ideal brand. I've also used a brand called Green Lee. I've used a brand called Gardner Bender, which is not too bad of stuff. They're all pretty good brands. I'm going to show you how we use these Lineman pliers, and I've done this so many thousands and thousands of times. This is just a piece of scrap wire I have here, but this is the basic idea and why you got to have a pair of these. So I got to connect these wires, and I always insist on twisting the wires together to make a really good connection. I'm going to grab them there on the end like this, give them a twist, another twist, another twist until we get a, and I want to mash my end down, it's not protruding. Okay, and that's how we get a very, very good twisted up connection on a wire. I had a wire nut laying here a minute ago. Here it is over here. So let's say we're making a connection like that. We're going to twist it up really good so we make sure we got a good connection on the wire. Then we put our wire nut on there, just like that, and just twist on, clockwise always. I'm going to turn this till it just tightens up. And the other thing with your wire nut, especially if you're working with braided wire, this had to be solid wire. I'm going to say stranded wire. Stranded, braided, same thing. It's not really braided though, I'm going to say stranded. With stranded wire, like we use in commercial wiring, tugging on your wire nut is absolutely essential. So once we get that on there, we're going to give it a yank and just make sure it's not going to come off. So right there's a very good connection on that. Oh, I almost forgot. One of the best screwdrivers I have ever owned. This is also a Klein brand. The name brand has worn off of it. This screwdriver was kind of pricey. It was about $35, I think close to $40 or something like that. I'm not sure. I bought it a long, long time ago. Oh, I have used this tool so many times on larger screws, mostly in some of the larger commercial breaker panels and things that have the larger terminal screws. This is a must-have. It's also a Klein brand. This also has, it's shaped along the length of it here, so if necessary I can put a wrench on this for added leverage. I got something really tight I got to turn. I'll show you that. This also makes a great miniature pry bar too in some cases. Also, if you can see down here toward the bottom is a very, very good tape holder. How does this work? You slide your tape over like that, pull your holder back out horizontal like that. There's my black tape. I usually have a roll of red tape and a roll of blue tape on there. I just don't have that on there today. That's how your tape holder works out. So anyway, that's a little something about the tool pouch, the tools in general. If you're starting out as a new electrician, or if you've been at it for a while, and whatever the case may be, just need some pointers on which tools to start out with. I will tell you that when you're first starting out, don't sweat bullets over the whole tool thing. You'll add to it as you go. Like, start out with your basic stuff, your linesman, your wire strippers, and so on and so forth. And then as you learn and get more into it, you will get more familiar with the type of tools that you're going to need. And believe me, it takes a lot more tools than just what I'm showing you right here. These are just the basics, okay? It takes a wide variety of power tools. Another day, another video, I will get out some more of my power tools, such as my drills and hammer drills, right angle drills, and various things like that, and give you guys a demonstration of some of the power tools we use in this electrical trade. So that's about it for now. I got a lot more stuff I can show you, I just don't have time right now. There's the old tool pouch right there. For starters, if you're starting out, you need to get a tool pouch about like this one. There's a wide variety of them out there. Make all different styles, but this is your basic electrician tool pouch. The other thing I've mentioned for a lot of years, and I've trained hundreds and hundreds of people how to do electrical work, a very important thing is organizing your tool pouch. Okay, so like right over here, we go from left to right. My linesman pliers, see in that pouch right there, along with my needle nose pliers right there, and also my ratcheting screwdriver stays right in behind there. I have another, get in there, okay, whatever, didn't want to go in a slot there. Another multi-tip screwdriver. Over here my Klein screwdriver stays right there. This knife, which I said needs a new blade, stays right in there. My diagonal cutter's right here in front. Also, I got a pencil in there, got to have a pencil, and a wide variety of the stuff in there. Tape measure, of course, here in the front. Extra utility knife there, inductive tester over here, my variety of strippers in this side pouch over here, my Conduit screwdriver there, and in here somewhere I've got a little stubby. Let me see if I can pull that out of there while we're at it. It's hard to get out of there. It's way down in there. Oh, gee whiz. Here's my little stubby Phillips screwdriver anyway. Sometimes we get in little tight spots like that, you can't get a full-length screwdriver in there. You got to have your stubby screwdrivers. That one's supposed to be right up in there. It fell down in there. So that's about it for the tool pouch demonstration and the basic tools to start out with. So I appreciate you guys checking out the video. Thanks for tuning in on the channel. And as I said before, as time goes by, I'll get the camera back out, set it back up, and show you guys more of the power tools and lots and lots of the stuff that we use in the electrical business. So in the meantime, stay safe, stay warm, and if you're new to my channel, I appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. I put a new link on my channel just about 2 weeks ago. It's right over in that corner somewhere, I think. Don't forget that like button. It's over in the same area right there too. Appreciate you clicking on the like button for me, and if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to my channel. I'd be more than happy to have you along. And if you feel like sharing any of my videos with your friends, go right ahead, share all you want to. So thanks for watching. Again, I'm Walt Moore, also known as Dan Wilson. As I close all my videos out, thanks for watching, take care, and God bless. See you guys on the next one.